All right, so I got that adjusted. Let's jump into markets. Markets. Today we are um, 2.97 trillion. We are down from last week's 3.02. All right, so what has happened? All right, so we saw a lot of things go up. We have news here we can check, but we've got a list of trending coins. Clearly, I don't care. Bitcoin, 95,000. It's down 0.10%. On the hour, last 7 days, down 1.5. Ethereum in the last 7 days, it's up 1.57 days. Ethereum is up 1.78 or 1.8 in the last 7 days. Stablecoin Tether, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't go anywhere. It's still going to be valued around $1. XRP, we are down in the last 7 days, 2.5. At a price of 2.17. And again, if you purchase this way back 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 cents, you're still up. Solana down at 2.15%. Again, if you purchase this, down at 20, 30, 40, 10, 11, 12, you're still way up. Our stablecoin USDC, obviously it's stable. Dogecoin in the last 7 days is down 4.62. So, that's the markets. Which brings us to a conversation piece. Do I have it? So, this lets you see price, history, time. That's it. That's what it lets you see. All of these technologies, some being assets, some being casino, all of these, you just get a history here. That's what we come here for, a history and an about. Because a lot of times we need to find information, right? So that's why we're here all the time. Now, we've had an all-time high of 3.7 trillion. I believe we were pushing for a trillion. So 2.97, 3.01, 3.02, still nothing. So to turn this around, to help people understand why you're here and why other people are here, we're going to have a discussion about technology. Because technology is the most important part of why you're here. So you've seen in past videos, we've talked about different technologies. All this is just tech. So when you come here, you can't come here you're going to make money, but you can't come here based on the principle of, I don't know anything, I just want to make money. It's all technology, right? So, okay, Bitcoin is a technology. Ethereum is a technology. Tether is a stable value or fiat, right? This is for banks and people and businesses. Again, XRP is technology. Binance is technology. Solana is technology. USDC is new digital fiat currency. It's just for transactions, payment, right? It's fiat. Dogecoin's technology. Cardano's technology. Tron's technology. Sui, are you getting the concept of what's happening here? All these things are technology. Now, with these technologies, you can run fiat, right, on any of these technologies if they program it in. That's all that is. Now, you can also bring assets such as stocks, bonds, security bonds, homes, cars, different things of value onto these technologies. I don't know about Bitcoin, I doubt that. But Ethereum, smart contracts, non-fungible tokens, yes. I believe they're doing it now with XRP, of course, with Solana. Cardano can do these things. All of these technologies can do that. All right. So technologies, fiat. Okay. Let's move along. So again, if you're in the space, know what you're involved in and don't look what once you understand what these things are and what they do, then you can begin to invest money with the use case and the potential, right? Then we go into news. Because you got to understand this before you start diving in, or else you're following something like an influencer that's telling you, influencers, right? Let me show you guys. Influencers. Let's go to the watch list. All right, come over here. Influencers tell you, where is it at? Zebec network. It's all over the internet, right? Influencers. Last 7 days, it's up 61%. It's pushing 2.002, right? Now, you see that there? Influencers all over the internet pushing this. You see here, we had 0.0018 here, 0.00. It up. You get it. You come over here, you can see it's been up, right? So technically you're making money, but it's influencers. It's influencers that are causing these things to happen. All right, so here, right now, influencers will have you doing things without knowledge. So let's go to knowledge. Knowledge is we use CoinMarketCap to go investigate. We're going to do it one more time. So you see here, Zebec network, right? It's a decentralized infrastructure network for seamless flows of real-world value. Real-world payments, payroll, cross-border remittances. You can spend it anytime, anywhere, instantly. And it's reloadable, right? It's just technology, okay? You have 50,000 monthly users, payroll 250 clients, payroll volume 1 billion at 138 countries. So let's talk about technology. So in countries outside of the United States, right, there are uses where, okay, I can put my money into this asset and then distribute payment to employees by using this technology. And then my employees can get paid every hour on the hour of work that they give me directly to their wallet. It's just a smart contract that says at every hour, bing, shoot this money over there to them. And so There's your payroll. It's technology. Now, why would I look at this and say, well, I don't care about an influencer, I care about the tech? Because as we move forward in the future, what business doesn't want to operate in a manner where all this information is publicly recorded? You can't say you were lied, cheated, and swindled. All your employees, they're going to come to work because they know for every hour they're working, they can get that. So when you look at the use case in technology, you start seeing why we look at these as technologies, and we invest in the tech. Okay, that's technology there. Okay, tech, and this can be turned into stable coins, right? Probably within the app, so you can get paid. Boom, you get paid, I don't know, 2,000 ZBC in for an hour. I don't know, just throwing numbers. Then, okay, at the end of the day, you say, oh, well, let me go ahead and convert. So you'll convert it into your nation's stable coin, right? All nations have a stable coin. It's just what it is. So you'll convert it into your native currency right there at the end of the day. Or let's say your wife is at the grocery store and she needs to pick up some bread and milk. All right. So she has the same wallet you have because y'all share the wallet, and she's at the store and she sees of course there's money there. She converts some of the payroll that you receive into that wallet. Okay. And I'm going to explain this. All right. For those who don't understand, and those that are trying to explain this stuff to other family members that don't get it. So a digital wallet, right, is where it's like a bank, right? It's scary shit right here. So your digital wallet is a bank. It's your personal private bank. You hold the keys, and you're the only one that has access to that bank account unless you share that bank account with, for instance, wife or husband, right? So now let's take two devices. One is the husband's, one belongs to the wife, and they both share a wallet. All right. Now, this wallet, you don't have to do that, but you can. But you got to understand your device is a bank, so you have to be very protective over it. All right. So, you can, that's another conversation we'll save for later. There's ways to deal in that world. So let's say you have a wallet and your wife has the same one. You've given her access through the private keys. She's the only person. Both of you have access to this wallet. You're at work. You're on the clock. You're making money. She goes to the grocery store. You have the same wallet. She goes into the wallet. She converts some over to do groceries. She turns it into your nation's stable coin or your nation's national currency. And then she makes the purchase in the store. She scans the QR code at the register. She makes the payment. Clink, 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 clink. Transaction's done. You see the transaction. Clink. She sees the clink. It's done and over with. She goes home. Everything's fine. You're still working. Money comes in. She works. Her money, when she goes to work, does the same thing through technologies such as this, the CBCN, payroll. And, this is the things that companies have the ability to do in the future, is directly depositing their native token that they're using into the wallet to pay you per hour. Now, all those things transact in. Now, the two of you also have the ability to send to another wallet any monies converted for storage and safekeeping. So what does that mean? So at a bank, you would have a checking account that receives payment from the business you work for. All right. And then from there, you would possibly open up a savings account up under that, which would be a different account, which you have to have different information to access. You could then create another account whether it be checking or savings, whatever you set up through your bank, and you would label that a different account, which you would have to have a whole nother set of information to have access to that account. So now you create a wallet, and inside that wallet, you create other wallets, and then you have, no different than your bank wallet, a checking wallet that receives payment, a savings wallet, which is where you store converted payment or a stable coin. Then you have a savings wallet, which you convert investment, right? You convert to investment. So let's say this month, you and the wife decide, okay, well, we want to take, I don't know, $200 of our payment for work and turn it into investment. So then your other wallet, all this is in one wallet, broken down, well, one wallet app broken down into multiple wallets. So you got your checking, your savings, then your investment, all this in the device in one wallet. And so that's where you've decided, both of you have the wallet, you're both watching the wallet, you see the investment growing. All right. That's it. This is technology, not some scary investment stuff. So it's scary because you don't want to lose your bank or have your bank hacked by scammers. So you have to protect your device or your bank. So you have to guard it. You have to treat it differently. You can't just be opening up emails. You can't be clicking and following stuff. You can't just leave your bank laying anywhere. Your device becomes your bank. So it has to be a part of you. You don't sit it down. You don't leave it at a store. You don't leave it in a restaurant. That motherfucker is gold. So that is the mindset you'll have to have when stepping into this space. That's the concept of technology. Now, with that said technology, you then convert it, right, to in your checking account or your payment, your bills account or savings account, you've converted it into stable coin, right? And this transcends nations so far as I know. National wise, you'll have something like this. So living in the United States, we have a national currency known as USDC. So you've received your payment, you've then converted it into a stable because you don't want it fluctuating. That is straight value, right? So you say, okay, convert that. Now you can convert it on the hour, you can convert it at the end of the day. That's your business. So you convert it, and then after conversion, you say, okay, well, we want to take $200 into investment. So you say, okay, well, I want to invest in this technology, Algorand, right? And you'll move money into your investment wallet, into Algorand, and then that's where that money will sit, and it'll go up and down. As you can see, we'll open it up. Now, again, this is technology, and this is an investment, right? So now you have moved money into your investment wallet. So you can look and say, okay, let's go all the way back to its conception. 2020, let's get the date. Man, 2019. All right. So you can see $3.15. Wow. All right. You can see it's as low as 21 cents, right? So you can say, okay, this is my investment, and you can put it there, and you can use any tool you want to know where to invest. So that's why your technology and your stable coins are separate, and you can do all this through one wallet and share this wallet or this quote unquote personally owned bank account between you and your spouse. Ooh, man, I think that was a good way of explaining that. Now let's move along, get some news. All right, Michael Branch posted, the crypto community noted that apps can now process direct payments with digital currencies such as USDC, Ethereum, and Solana. Developers and users now have the ability to bypass Apple's commission system thanks to this new freedom. So Apple's order to open crypto payments. What? All right. Okay. Let's get this stuff out the way. Let's. Okay. No, I don't want to. Oh my God. Stop. Ew. All right. So what are we looking at? Spazio Crypto. Apple to open up to crypto payments. Historic breakthrough. U.S. federal judge has issued a landmark decision forcing Apple to remove restrictions on app developers who wish to direct users to external payment methods. The order issued by Judge Ivan Gonzalez Rogers on the 30th of April 30th, marks a crucial turning point for crypto developers aiming to establish themselves in the iOS environment. So crypto is coming to iOS in a big way. It's here, but I guess it's going to be even bigger, right? The legal battle that led to this decision stems from the long-running conflict between Apple and Epic Games. This video game company challenged Apple's App Store practices, accusing them of being anti-competitive. As early as 2021, the court ordered Apple to allow developers to inform users about payment methods outside of apps. After the initial ruling, Apple introduced restrictive features, including warning screens and complex redirects. These deterrent actions have led users to remain tied to Apple's in-app purchase system, which leaves a 30% per transaction fee from developers. Shortchanging them. A recent court decision found Apple's latest restriction unacceptable, issuing an order preventing the company from creating new transaction barriers or charging fees on payments made outside the App Store. The new directive now prohibits Apple from charging fees or barriers for transactions that take place outside of its app ecosystem. Apple, despite knowing its obligation in this regard, thwarted the goals of the injunction and continued its anti-competitive conduct solely to maintain its revenue stream, the judge said. Well, locking third parties out kind of keeps their device software safe, right? So this could go either way. It goes on to say Apple has updated its App Store guidelines following the ruling. The new guidelines allow app developers to integrate links that directs users to external payment systems subject to specific conditions. Apps may allow users to browse collections of NFTs owned by others, provided that, with the exception of apps on the US Store, they do not include buttons, external links, or other call to actions that direct customers to purchase mechanisms other than in-app purchase, according to Apple's updated guidelines. So you can see it, but you can't use it. In a sense, Apple's revised policy opens up new opportunities for cryptocurrency apps that have previously faced stringent limitations in Apple's controlled environment. The crypto community noted that apps can now process direct payments with digital currencies such as USDC, Ethereum, and Solana. Nice. So they brought that as a tool of payment into their ecosystem. Nice. All right. Cool. All right. Let's keep pushing. Smoke. Remember, Morgan Stanley has stated that adopting a Ripple-like payment system could shorten settlement periods, speed up transactions, and reduce the risk of fraud. Well, quote, Morgan Stanley considers Ripple to be a leading international payment alternative to SWIFT. Here we see it says, review of banking and financial law. One suggests users lowering the fees of remittances using Ripple. Banks can save 60% of their total processing costs on a $500 payment, significantly increasing the amount of money available to remittance recipients. Some believe Ripple's distributed ledger could eventually replace the SWIFT network for interbank payments. Morgan Stanley has stated that adopting a Ripple-like yes, clearly. So I guess there's your reminder of all the big banks and institutions that would be in that space. 1 second. Let's see something. Bum. All right, looks good. All right. DLT innovation is smart contract, Ethereum. Yes. That's why Ethereum's not going anywhere. And now with them crossing rails, it's made Ethereum transactions faster and cheaper. So great news there. Warren Buffett says it might be a good idea to own a lot of other currencies besides the US dollar. There's a lot of speculation with that. Just thoughts on this. Nothing solid, but just thoughts. We have like a nasty debt, and with the interest on it, will we ever pay it back? We could, because the United States as a whole holds like $186 trillion of value within their assets. So if the United States gobbled up those assets, seized them for the purpose of paying off debt, yes, we wouldn't have a dollar issue. But if the United States seized assets, right, then a lot of United States citizens, businesses, institutions, companies would really be teased. So the dollar is going to a change. And so this is why you keep hearing that there will be a transfer of wealth. So for those people that don't get involved in this transfer, they're going to be stuck holding something that's being that has already been devalued. This is why you see gold prices drastically high. A gram from 15 upwards now to 3,300. That's crazy. But that tells you that the value has become so low that people with money don't want to hold that. Now, we'll do daily transactions with it because that's the fiat or currency that's transacted currently in the United States today. But as you can see with these other technologies, with the quote-unquote CEO of the United States telling you that they're going to be the capital for this new technological era in the crypto space, digital finance space, that message, they're transferring into something different. So, I mean, when you talk about these people higher up, of course, these are the conversations they have at dinner parties and dinner tables. Duh. So, yeah, interesting. Now we have this. We're going to check this out. It says from Finance Brothers, the CEO of Bank of America has hinted that cryptocurrency could soon become a standard way to pay. Now, this is going to be an old video. I'm going to show you. But nonetheless, this is a reminder. All right. This is a reminder.
Separate question, and Becky's got one back in Washington, but on crypto, we just had Brian Armstrong sitting in the seat that you were in. And obviously there's a lot of excitement about crypto. The banking business, for the most part, has stayed away from crypto. Given President Trump's full-throated support for crypto, do you imagine Bank of America is going to be full on in the crypto business if we have this conversation 12 months, 24 months from now?
I'd separate out the sort of crypto versus stable assets and digital movement of money, because we already move the vast majority of our money digitally. Our consumers do, our companies do. And so the question is, what's the business?
So let me explain. What he's saying is the vast majority of Bank of America's transactions are online digital transactions. They move over the net. So nothing new. It's already digital. Just now there's a newer, faster, better, more efficient digital way. Let's continue.
Practice that you have to move another type of currency. So if the rules come in and make it a real thing that you can actually do business with, you will find that the banking system will come in hard on the transactional side of it.
So when the legislation comes in that they have they can legally use cryptocurrencies, right? Then hello, they're going to use it. He said it. When the legislation comes in and everything's okay, we're using this shit. Facts. And legislation came in. And so he just basically said, we're going to use that shit. We've been waiting. Let's continue.
Non-anonymous, transactional, verified, etc. Because we have to, because it's just another way our customers are going to.
The other thing we were talking about was the possibility that Bitcoin and some of these cryptocurrencies actually are a threat to the U.S. dollar. Scott Bessent's talked about needing the U.S. dollar to be super powerful.
Yeah.
Is it a threat?
I think there's a whole bunch of dynamics about all the trade and all the consumption of the U.S. consumer and all the stuff that goes on. But I think we do need a strong U.S. dollar. We need a U.S. dollar to be reserve currency. It's good for our country. But what I'm saying is, if you go down the street here and you go in and buy lunch,
right.
If you can pay with Visa, MasterCard, a debit card, Apple Pay, et cetera, this will just be another form of payment in an instantaneous cash transfer.
So as of right now, you already use, again, like he said, a debit card, a credit card, Apple Pay. You already use it. So nothing new there, but they are legalizing the transactions with crypto, and it's going to come through digital or stable payment through rails that are known like Ethereum rails, XRP rails, or whatever. Those are the things they're saying, cool, make it legit, make it legal, because we're going to bring these stable coins online so you can go buy lunch. So Apple Pay, you can tap your phone to the machine, the little checkout machine, whatever. You can tap your phone, you can tap your card, whatever. It's no different with scanning a QR. So a QR is going to pop up. You're going to scan it. You're going to open up your wallet. Facts, bro. You're going to open up your wallet and your device, your bank. You're going to scan the QR code and it's going to do a transaction. You're going to pay for your lunch with probably the nation's currency, which will be stable currency, which will be the USDC. Transaction over with. Very simple. Customers are going to be doing it. You'll see the slow transition because not everybody is aware of this. And let's go back in time. Checks were being written, and you go to the grocery store. For those who can remember, you go to the grocery store, you write a check. You know that check wasn't going to get processed probably next Wednesday, next Thursday. That's when the transaction finally processed out. Sometimes it would take longer, so it was bad for business because maybe you might not have the money in the account next Thursday. It's going to be there by Wednesday, and then your check hits Thursday and then you don't have the money, so you get an overdraft, and the overdraft fee might be $20, $30, $40, so you're negative. Blah. That was the old way. Then we moved into debit cards, and then we started to apps on the phone. When smartphones became great, then you would have apps connected to your bank, connected to your debit card, and then from that we moved into stuff like Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, from the actual device. And now we're going into this crypto payment. Whether you believe it or not, Who cares? It's what the man told you that they're doing. Doesn't care if you believe it or not. He told you that's what we're doing. Let's back it up.
Was the possibility that Bitcoin and some of these cryptocurrencies actually are a threat to the U.S. dollar. Scott Bessent's talked about needing the U.S. dollar to be super powerful.
Yeah.
Is it a threat?
I think there's a whole bunch of dynamics about all the trade and all the consumption of the U.S. consumer and all the stuff that goes on. But I think we do need a strong U.S. dollar. We need a U.S. dollar to be reserve currency. It's good for our country. But what I'm saying is, if you go down the street here and you go in and buy lunch,
right.
If you can pay with Visa, MasterCard, a debit card, Apple Pay, et cetera, this will just be another form of payment in an instantaneous cash transfer. And so I think if it becomes regulatory okay, which it wasn't before, and that's one of the issues, you'll see the banking system enter with, we have hundreds of patents on blockchain already. We know how to enter the field. When you get to the investment side and the Bitcoin stuff, that
he said they have hundreds of blockchain patents. Bank of America CEO, hundreds of blockchain patents. They're heavy in the space.
That's really a separate question. That's more on the investment side. From the transactional side, I think you'll see the bank industry make moves here.
All right. So you heard it, Bank of America. All right. We got a post from Brett. 29 million XRP transferred from Coinbase to Coinbase institutions. Okay. So, there's the hash transaction, the date, the destination. Looks like 10 destinations. Is that what it's saying? Coinbase cold storage. I guess that's what that's saying. Well, I mean, Coinbase, as a exchange moved. That's a lot of XRP. It's times $2. So let's do 30 by, oh my God. That's a lot. Let's do the whole number. Let's do this. 29,532,534 times $0.2.20 times $2.20. $64 million, $65 million, really. $65 million transferred to Coinbase institutions, right? So XRP is probably one. There's another story there. Oh, so it could be, clearly they're setting up, but that's not a lot of money, unless you think about this lady. Her video is no longer visible, but she was talking about dark pools, and I'm gonna be short about this because this video is already long. So there's been this thought for years that there is a dark market. You can ask ChatGPT. It'll tell you that, which I never thought to do, but this lady did it and got all the information because she already knew it. She just wanted to prove it. So anyways, there's a dark pool, which is where we know in the crypto space, OTC, over-the-counter transactions that do not get recorded on the public blockchain. And in the stock market side, they call these things dark pools. So the reason why people have been saying that, like, for instance, XRP, the price isn't showing real, is because of over-the-counter transactions that don't get recorded on the blockchain. But this is recorded over the blockchain, public blockchain. So this wouldn't be a over-the-counter. But apparently, so you don't make the markets go crazy. So let me do this. Let's say there is 20,000 institutional banks, and each one of them have to have a certain amount. They all have to buy a certain amount of XRP to be able to use that system. Well, if you leave it to the public market, and let's say 100 institutions buy up a bunch of XRP, well, then that drives the price up so fast that other institutions have to pay stupid amounts to get it. You would literally, if let's say 100 banks decide to buy millions of XRP, right? You know, it's 100 billion total XRP. There's 50 billion or something already in. You know what? Let's do this. I'm going to end the video with this. Let's go here. Let's look at this. And where is the information? All right. There's a maximum supply of 100 billion, total supply of 99 billion, in circulation 58 billion, 58.5 billion in circulation, right? So if you take the other 40 some billion, and let's say the institutions are like, well, I got to buy up a bunch because I want to do transactions, you would shoot the price up so fast that the other institutions wouldn't have a prayer of getting access to this. So then you would have basically a capitalist market for XRP. So technically, an over-the-counter can make it fair so that it doesn't show up in the public market. Now, once all that's been evenly distributed to all institutional banks, because this is not for retail, this is my thoughts behind this. Once you've evenly distributed this, it is fair, right? Because again, they went nation to nation, institution, bank, making these relationships and showing them the power of their technology. They can't just let everybody run rampant, because then you've promised all these things, helping these people, this technology is going to do this. Now they're screwed because, oh, these companies over here got all the XRP. And so they're the ones that control that market and can do all these transactions. And you can't. You got to find something else that's not probably, I would say, guaranteed or safe, right? Because, Ripple is behind XRP. They have people you can take to court, and they also have clawback technology. So to make this fair, you would have to use an over-the-counter method, or quote unquote a dark pool. This is my thoughts and mine's only. Well, my own, what we talk about this. So if that's the case, which makes sense, this is what I've been thinking for years, then once it's evenly distributed, then the transactions can now hit the public market, and then instantaneously, I suspect you would see a new value of XRP because it's evenly distributed. And this is why people hold it and don't care. We don't care. Like, I don't care what you think, whatever, right? Because once it's all said and done and it's evenly distributed, it's going to come back to the public market, because no nation or institution wants secrecy in the end, because I'm conducting business. So this stuff has to be public knowledge in order for me to trust, right? To trust the system, it has to be public knowledge. So after everything's moved around, everybody's got their piece of the pie, I suspect that's what we're going to see. And that's going to change the game. Anyways, this was a long video. I'm going to end it there. This was a really long video. Comments, questions, anything, get in the comment section. A lot of information. I don't know. Join the conversation.